All right, welcome to lab number 12 of the AZ-204 course. The name of the lab is Enhance a Web Application by Using the Azure Content Delivery Network. Basically, what we're doing here is we're using caching for CDNs from CDNs to help with latency issues, right? And this is the final kind of officially required lab on this course. So in that way, congratulations if you have made it this far. Again, I'm already here in my lab environment. I would suggest that you would take a look at the architecture picture in the official GitHub repository, which is available as a comment to this video. So that way you kind of know what we're talking about here. So for our purposes, the first thing that we need to do is create a storage account. So let's go over to storage accounts and create one. And we already have a pre-created resource group over here. You might want to create your own if you're following along in your own environment. As the storage account name, we're going to use content host followed by some identifiers. We're going to be working in East US 2 today. That's going to be under other. Over here, for performance, we're happy with standard, and we're also happy with locally redundant storage, as this is just a demo. There is an option to allow enabling anonymous access on individual containers, and this is that we want to enable for this particular lab as well. Then we can review and create, wait for everything to happen. Okay, and now it has happened. So let's create a web app. So what we're going to go to over here is web app. Right, so what we're going to create next is a app service. So let's do that. And we're going to put it into our existing resource group. We're going to name it landing page with some individual suffix. We're going to publish a container this time. We're happy with Linux, and we're going to put it into East US 2. Now you might have to create a new plan for this. I already have one with the name marketing plan P1 Rev 3, which is totally fine for our purposes. Okay, so let's continue to define the container. So what we want here is a Docker Hub or other registry kind of option. It's going to be public. The URL is going to be Docker, and then the image is going to be Microsoft Learning /edx HTML landing page. I want to have the latest version of that. That's all we need to define, so let's just review and create. Right, so that got deployed. What we're going to know from here is this default domain. So if we just kind of open a new web page with it, then now we know where it is, right? Okay, so next up, what we want to do is open up a Cloud Shell session for us to be able to define the CDN part. I'm going to go with bash, and we actually don't need a storage account at all. All right, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to make sure that we have the CDN provider. So what we could do is AZ provider show with a namespace of Microsoft.cdn. And then we're interested in the field called registration state. All right. And it has been registered. So we can use this one. Perfect. So let's go over to CDN. And what we're looking for is actually a CDN front door and CDN profiles. Yes. All right. So in this option, what we want to do here is we actually want to go for explore other offerings, right? We don't really need front door specifically. And then over here, what we want to use is actually Azure CDN standard from Microsoft Classic for this purpose. Please do look at the documentation with regards to the differences between these services. We're going to go with this for this lab. So then we can create our CDN profile. So we're going to put this into our resource group that we have previously created. We're going to give it a name. It's going to be the Content Delivery Network for our purposes. The region for our CDN is going to be global, right? And then the pricing tier that we're happy with is this classic one. Again, please look at the options and figure out what is proper for your use case. So let's go and create that. All right, so that has been created. So let's look at our storage account that we have created previously. And then let's go to data storage and containers. And let's create a new container. Name for this one is going to be media. And we're going to be okay. You don't need to figure out anything else. Let's create another container here called video. I'm going to do blob level, public access. Probably should have done that for the media one as well. Can I change that here? Yes, like that. All right. So next up, let's go and take a look at our CDN profile. It's over here. And what we're going to do here is add an endpoint, right? The name of the endpoint is going to be, CDN media something, something. It's of type storage because that's what we just defined, right? Our storage account. The origin host name is going to be exactly the only option we have right now in our environment. Path is going to be /media to start off with. Oops. And again. Path is going to be /media. So that's what we're going to start off with. And everything else I think we're happy with. So let's just add that one. And then we're going to add another endpoint for our video content, right? And that's also backed by storage. And the host name is going to be the same, but the path is going to be /video for that one. And again, we're just going to add this one. All right, and then one more endpoint. This time it's going to be our web endpoint. And our origin type is actually going to be a web app. And it'll automatically give us the host name of the web app, the only one that we have in this resource group. We're happy with the origin path being just the /. We don't really need to change anything else here. Let's add that one as well. All right, so now we have everything running more or less. If it would be refreshing, we would get the third one here as well. So let's go back to our web app. It's this one. And then let's go and take a look at it. It looks the same as previously. There is going to be this kind of error because we have some configuration settings missing. That's not a problem. Okay. So what we need to do next is to go to our storage account. And then go to our containers and then the media container. And then let's upload something here. So let's upload the file that's given to us based on the GitHub repo. Labs, this is lab number 12. Starter. And then we're going to have all of the JPEGs, right? Load it here. All right, so that is done. If you go back to the container itself, this, we're going to need to know the properties and settings, and then the URL, right? So this is something we need later. Let's save it down here. New file, text file. And this is the URL for the media folder or container, right? Okay, so next up, let's go to the video container, and similarly, we have a video to upload here. And that's the welcome.p4 file. And now it has been updated. Marvelous. And similarly, we want to know the URL for this one. I'm going to copy paste it down here. Okay, cool. So next up, let's update our web app. I think we still have it here. Yeah. And if we go over to settings and environment variables, then we could set the variables that it is actually waiting for. So let's add one. The first one was called CDN media endpoint. Right? So let's use that one. And as the value, we want to use the media container URL, right? So this one. Okay, that's cool. So let's change that. And let's add another one. And this would be the other missing variable, CDN video endpoint. And of course needs to be the URL for the video container. Like that. Okay, now we should be done. So let's apply these settings, and then that's going to require a restart of our app. So what we're going to do next is check what our app says now. No, it hasn't been updated yet. So one of the, if this happens, so one of the things that we can do is go back to the overview app and then just click on restart. Just, in case it didn't restart properly. And then we can refresh this URL again. And you can see now it actually takes into account the content that we have given it. Okay, so now we're still using this directly, right? But we created a CDN endpoint. So how are we supposed to use that instead? So let's go to the CDN profile. And then here we have the endpoint for media, for example. And then we're just going to use that endpoint name. It's not going to give us anything right now, but it's there. So let's try this out. So we have our endpoint name, and there is a file there called campus.jpg, right? So let's try that, and it will give us back the correct picture for that. There's another one called conference.jpg. So these are in our storage account, right? And it gives us that one back as well. And we also have a poster.jpg. And that's in place as well. In addition to that, we had the other endpoint for the video storage bucket, right? So it's this one. So we can use this one to find the video that was uploaded. Welcome. Come on. MP4. And that seems to be working as well. All right. So note that these are not the same endpoint, right? So if I would be trying to get web applications and create pages that are going to work. If I was trying to get our JPEG from here, what was it? Poster.jpg. That won't work, right? Because they're different containers, they're different endpoints that are working with this. Let's next up update the settings for our web application. So let's go to it. And here we have some variables, right? And now the current value for the media endpoint is the direct value, right? So what we want to do is we want to update that with our media endpoint instead, right? So how do I get there? It was CDN media, right? So not video, but media. Something Azure Edge.net. Let's apply that. And the same thing for the video endpoint, right? So here we can use the actual value here. This one, right? And let's apply that. And let's apply all of our settings. And what that gives us is the possibility to use those cached assets instead of looking for them from our storage account. So let's see if it worked. And it seems it has, marvelous. Perfect. And if we take a look at this link, so currently it still goes to the original URL. Okay, so that didn't work. So let's restart our app. That way it will definitely, reread all of the configuration. And then go back. And then now, if we open Okay, we don't want a video. Let's this one.
If you want to create a web application and create pages that are going to...
Let's just open this one in a new tab. And now you can see it's actually using it from the Azure Edge.net domain, right? So this is the CDN based option. So congratulations, you learned how to use CDNs for static content in your app. Please remember to delete any of the resource groups that you have created here. That makes sure that it will also delete any of the resources that will cost you over time. Thanks for listening, and see you in your next lab. Till then.